ever with a new video, and can you believe who I have sitting next to me? You're not gonna believe it when I tell you. Who? You guys are always asking about my hair. What can I do for my hair, DeLaurian? What did you do? How did you do this? Well, guess what? I did you one better. I have the founder, the creator, the inceptor, the CEO, the owner of Naturalicious, which is an amazing hair care line and beauty line that you guys are going to benefit from. You're going to be so glad that I brought this wonderful, fabulous, beautiful woman here to talk to you. So say hey to them, lady.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
This is the fabulous Gwen Jimmere. Give it up for her, guys. I hear you clapping at home.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, so what we want to do is just basically ask you a couple of questions. We really want to know. Tell us about Naturalicious, why you started the brand, and we want to encourage some people, and we're going to actually give you guys a demo. You're going to see later in the video how going from wash to style in 1 hour is truly, truly possible.
Okay.
So Gwen, tell us why you started Naturalicious.
I started Naturalicious purely out of necessity for myself.
Okay.
So I was pregnant with my son in 2011, or 2010 actually.
Okay.
And he was born in 2011. So I was pregnant with him, and I had just seen Good Hair.
Okay.
You know, the movie with Chris Rock?
Yep.
And I was relaxing my hair at the time.
Oh man.
And I saw the movie, and Chris Rock and a scientist had melted a can, like an aluminum can,
Right.
with a relaxer. And I was looking at my belly like, oh no, not my baby! So I instantly was like, no more relaxers during the time I was pregnant.
Okay.
My plan was to be natural only while I was pregnant.
Okay.
But my hair got to be so much longer and thicker. Like, I just cut it maybe about 3 weeks ago. But it, you know, it got to be longer and thicker. And I mean, even got to the point where it was like down to like this part of my arm.
Wow.
And I decided that I was going to stick with the natural thing because it was just working for me. So my son was born in 2011, and I would go to the store and I would look for natural hair products. And a lot of them would say natural on the label. But coming from a household where we always made our own ingredients, we made our own soaps, our own lotions, all that kind of stuff,
Wow.
I was very well versed in ingredients.
Okay.
And so I knew a lot of this stuff was clearly not natural. And it got me really frightened. So I said, you know what, I'm going to make this at home for myself. So I got home, I started mixing some stuff up in the kitchen, pulled some olive oil, put some this, some that. And I made up a hair care regimen of products for myself. And it did really well. But once my son was born, and I'm pretty sure there's people out there who are watching who have children. Y'all know kids don't care if it's wash day, right? They're like, it's time to eat, it's time to play, I want to do whatever, you know. And so I had to figure out a way to have these same really good ingredients in my hair products, but I need to be able to get done in an hour.
Gotcha.
I need to get done during his nap time. Now my son at the time, he slept like maybe 3 hours, but I knew as he got older, his nap time was going to be reduced. And so I was like, well, I got to give myself some leeway. So if I can get done in an hour, I'll be good, right? And so that's how it came about. So that's how the 1 hour wash to style guarantee came to be. It was purely out of necessity for myself. And I was able to get my whole regimen done in an hour, and it just kind of started snowballing from there. People would ask me, what do you use on your hair, and how do you get done so quickly? And I wasn't having to cancel plans with friends anymore. If someone called me and said, hey, we're barbecuing today, do you want to go?
Okay.
And I'm like, it's wash day, but yeah, I'll be there. They're like, oh, you know, how's that happening? And so that's how it came to be.
That's amazing. I mean, can you actually identify with being aggravated because you want to go somewhere and your hair is a mess? And now you're thinking of 10 million steps that you have to go through because you're trying to commit to this natural fight.
Right, the fight, the struggle.
Right. You're in 3 months of your 6-month no heat challenge.
Right.
And you want to go out, you just got a call to go out on a date, whatever the situation is, and you're like, what can I do? Ugh, you get discouraged, cancel plans, but this woman saw the need, and we talked about this earlier, seeing a need and actually meeting that need. That is a gift. And
Aww.
I'm just honored to be able to talk to you and know you, and to be able to share your gifting with my audience and the world. I mean, it's amazing. You can literally go from wash to style in an hour. I've used the system and it works. You know, I have a head full of thick hair that don't like to listen all the time. And it works. Just a quick question about empowerment. We have a lot of beautiful women. I call my subscribers lifers because we're about life and living life. Our lifers are working women. We have young teenagers. We have a different spectrum of women all going through different situations in their lives, all looking for their purpose. Where am I going to be in 5 years? How am I going to find that niche professionally that brings me satisfaction and peace? When you got into this, did you realize I found my calling, or I found a part of my purpose, or did you always know what you wanted to do?
That's so funny.
Okay, so back to purpose. Did you know this was your purpose when you got into it?
No. Like I said, I started it purely out of necessity for myself. And I didn't realize it was I knew it was a passion. I didn't realize it was purpose.
Okay.
Until I got laid off. So what happened was I was actually working for one of the big 3 automakers. And I loved doing Naturalicious. I loved making up the product. I loved seeing people's faces when they realized that it actually worked and that the claims were true. And like, I would get reviews and just comments and people calling me and they would say, you completely revolutionized how I do my hair. You've changed my life. And like, to hear that just from a hair product is kind of crazy, you know, and it would just bring me so much joy. It was the second most joyful thing in my life other than my son. And I knew it was a passion. So I've been praying and I said, God, whenever it is time for me to quit my job and do this full time, I want you to send me a clear and convincing sign.
Okay, that's good.
Because I don't do well with subtleties.
Right.
I feel like I need to be clear, right?
Yeah.
And some time went on. We had some changes in management at my job and everything was good. And then one day, completely out the blue, I was told I was being laid off. Actually, let me rephrase. I wasn't being laid off. They were eliminating my position, which really, at the time, I felt like I had been played because I felt like if you were eliminating my position, you're not firing me, you're not laying me off, but that means that you probably knew about this in advance. Why couldn't somebody give me a heads up and say, hey Gwen, you know, we're going to be eliminating your role. Thank you for your time here, whatever. But, you know, we're not going to need you in another month.
At least give me that respect.
But I didn't get that. And at the time, I felt very played. I felt duped. I thought it was really foul. But in retrospect, I know that had I been given that warning, I would have gone out and looked for another job. It was because I didn't have that warning. That it was like, I've got this thing going on at home. I can either spend time looking for another job or I can make this work. And because I didn't have that leeway, I had to make this work.
That's awesome.
It was also a really bad time for me personally. I was a month removed from my divorce when I got laid off. And I had absolutely no money coming in. So it was like sink or swim. And that was really what made me really go super hard with Naturalicious. And also through me going really, really hard with it, it helped so many other women. You know what I mean? So that's how I knew it was my purpose. So I think sometimes we have in our minds like the perfect situation. And so many times God is like, but I've got this over here for you. And he pretty much created a situation where I had to make it work. And so here we are. And the company literally started in, like I said, I was mixing stuff up in 2011, but we started in 2013, really selling it to others. In 2015, we're in Whole Food stores, and we're sold in Trinidad and Indonesia and South Africa, and it's just been amazing. And I'm here talking to you, and I met you through Naturalicious, and we've become friends, you know, so many good things have happened because of that, and that's how I knew it was my purpose.
Let me just congratulate you. That is amazing, and that should serve as encouragement for anyone watching, that no matter what life throws you, Sometimes it's throwing you one thing so you can catch your purpose. It may throw you in one situation that may look bad so you can lean back and fight back to the good. You know, lean back, regroup, and then come back to the good. And so take this as encouragement, as an example that you can go with the flow, or you can create the life that you deserve. And she didn't just go with the flow. She created the life she deserved, and she is now impacting the lives of millions all across the world. So I just want to congratulate you, because that is really empowering. It's encouraging to know, hey, I can do this too. Whatever my purpose is, it can be done.
Yeah, it can.
You know, it's amazing.
Yeah. The biggest thing is to make sure that you subside fear, because fear will keep you from doing so many things. And I think most entrepreneurs have a bit of a lack of logical fear. Like, a lot of us don't have what most people would logically say, you should be worried about this. Like, for me, my mortgage was due in a month when I decided not to look for a job and to just go with Naturalicious. But I was like, this is going to work. Like, there was no doubt in my mind it's going to work. And so I think that some people may have that fear, and it's always, but what if this doesn't work? But what if? And I'm like, but what if it does? You know what I mean? You never know if you don't try it. And you don't want to be 95, like, dang, if I had just pursued my invention or my passion or my purpose or whatever, and now it's too late.
Oh, that's good. So keep that in mind. What if it does work? Forget the what if it doesn't. What if it does?
What if it does?
What if it does work? Awesome! So I just want you guys to ask Gwen any questions that you have for her down in the comments section. I'm going to make sure that she answers a few of your questions. If you have any questions, feel free. This is a community where we talk to each other and we help each other, we encourage each other. So now I want you to talk to us about going from wash to style in an hour.
You can see me stunt when you turn on your screen. You can see me stunt when you turn on your screen. I'm bigger than life, my name in the lights. I'm the #1 chick, I don't need no hype.